Good morning. So I'm on the eve of a break, and I won't be around for I don't know, five to 10 days or so. It just depends on how whether I'm here, at the headquarters. So I'll be coming and going. But here's the deal. I was able to get done the how to create historical teams for the football time games. And so I'm about to drop that in the folder right now for those who want the ability to create historical teams, right? Where's it at? Football time, historical team creation. Boom, drop that in. Okay, so the reason I'm dropping this in is on the eve of the release of the sports time sports book, which will feature football time 4E. I thought it's time to get this made. This will allow you to create teams, historical teams and seasons very easily that will be compatible with any version of football time. What's important to recognize is every version of football time is slightly different. So the formulas used to rate the teams were ultimately modified by me based on the scoring charts and the matchup charts. So, but this will allow you to make pretty accurate historical teams and seasons. So let's take a look at the rules. So it uses points for and points against. Duh. I mean, I think most people can glance at it, a glance at the teams, and make sense of what's rated. Right? It's going to be a team's ability to score points and their ability to slow teams down or stop teams from scoring points. However, I've always used some subjectivity and subtle adjustments to a team's raw points for, points against, based on a team's record, their turnover potential, their forced punts, their total punts on offense, their how many field goals they missed, takeaways on defense, sacks on defense. And so, for instance, a team might be hovering here at like 21.4, right? 21.5. However, they are 12-4. I might nudge them up to a B, right? Give them the benefit of the doubt, right? Nudge them up to a B offense, right? So, or for instance, let's say a team scores here as a C defense, but they led the league in sacks, and let's say they're hovering at 19.7. I might nudge them down up to a B defense because they led the league in sacks, right? Something like that. Or let's say, for instance, an offense says that they're a B at 23 points a game, but they led the league in punts. Holy cow, I might nudge them down to a C to reflect more punts, right? Okay. So anyway, remember this, because this isn't locked in, it's affected by the team they face. So you rate a team based on what they scored, but they're going to be facing defenses and what they potentially allow, right? So this may look high, except they might be facing teams with a B or A or B defense. So, right. So anyway, most of the charts, I shouldn't say most of the charts. The charts, F and D can be feast or famine. C is pretty consistent in scoring, and B and A can actually be a little high. And that's just the nature of having only six results per grade. And that's just football time, So it is what it is, folks. But here's an example. The 1985 Raiders are an example of a nudge up for the defense from a C. The Raiders would actually be a C defense. But due to their sacks and their takeaways and their overall 12-4 record, I nudged the Raiders up to a B defense. It's crazy to see the Raiders at B offense and C defense at 12-4. It's really not that crazy based on the points they allowed. It's crazy based on, I think the Raiders in '85, despite the Bears' dominance, the Raiders were like 1 sack off the Bears, 2 sacks off the Bears. I think their interceptions were like, their interceptions were much worse than the Bears, right? So, well, that's the difference between an A defense and a B defense. But anyway, in scrutinizing, you're going to find those teams that are like, wow, they're 12-4, but they're a CC. If you want it to produce a team that's fairly similar, you're going to want to nudge based on other statistical data. These charts will provide one with the opportunity to make historical teams for use with any version of Football Time. Football Time 3E is a lower scoring output for 20 possession games. So be aware, the engine that I created, the Football Time 3, was meant really for just historical play. So that might be, if you want to make historical teams, that would probably be the engine you want to use to produce outputs, because it's a slightly lower scoring chart with 20 possession games. Okay, Football Time 4E, which is going to be the official version when the book comes out, it is the version that I will support. It's the version that all future references will be made to. It uses, it uses less possessions, and therefore the scores are the charts are slightly higher scoring. It uses 16 possession games, and it's meant to be fictional football. So, high school leagues, college leagues, some fictional pro league of your own design, or of course the big country league that comes with the game. So the scoring charts are slightly higher production, and that's how the game's designed. I mean, it's purposely written to not reflect necessarily real football, but that version of football done quickly. Now, Football Time 2E uses turnover modifiers and a D6 quarter clock, so scoring can be higher as well, because you can't control the possessions, and when a team gets a turnover, they automatically get a bonus to their offensive grade. So if I take the ball away, I go from a C offense to a B offense to reflect a shorter field. So you're going to find the scoring might be a little high. In Football Time 2E, too, just depends on how things fall, right? Which is, there's more dynamism in the Football 2E game than there is in the other versions. So Football 2E is probably the most dynamic version of the gaming charts because of all of these little tweaks, okay? And because Football Time 2E includes the Canadian game. So I wanted to make sure that game reflected the quality of the Canadian game simulation as well. So hopefully this will aid those in the community who want to make historical teams and seasons compatible with Football Time games. Thanks. So anyway, there it is. Free. Grab it, and all you need are points for, points against, and you can rate your favorite teams, your favorite seasons. And again, if something looks fishy to you when you rate them out, you go, wait a minute, this team won the division and went on to the Super Bowl, they're a CC, you might want to scrutinize their other statistics and maybe push their offense into a B, or maybe push their defense into a B. Depends on those intangibles, right? So I know it sounds strange, well, how can that be? But the Raiders are a perfect example of a team that's like 0.25 off of making B. And their 12-4 record alone makes me want to nudge them to BB, right? Especially since they're in a division where the Chargers are an A offense, which is pretty sweet. So when they face the Chargers, that defense is going to be pushed already to its limits, which is the goal. So anyway, hope everybody out there's having a good weekend. Again, I'll be gone for the next week or so I may not be in communication. So if you leave comments or you leave me emails or even the Discord, gents, any conversation there, I will be behind the 8 ball for about a week. So all right, everybody have a wonderful weekend. Bye bye.